Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hear Me Out Pitch. Or if you're returning, welcome back. I'm Tim.
And I'm Willem.
And this is our second episode this week.
Yes. And I shifted Tim. I shifted him. I moved him.
I'm supposed to be looking this direction, but
We'll shift it up.
we'll see how that goes.
I kind of like it. We both now, it looks like we're both like, yeah, I like that. I like it. I got it. I'm going to work on the lighting. So
This might be... Well, do we tell them or do we wait?
No, we've mentioned it. I'm moving.
I guess we have.
Yeah. So I don't think this will be the last one. I think we could, honestly.
I guess we can probably get another one or two.
You know, it'd be hilarious is if we recorded it at the place.
The new place?
Yeah, why not? I could just bring all the stuff there. It'd be fine. It'd be hilarious. I would just use that other table. The lighting would be horrendous, but yeah. Welcome to Crappy Lighting. I'm Willem. And I'm Tom. But no, second episode. We're trying to make it up to you guys, and
February was a little bit tough.
Oh my gosh.
Life kind of kicked us both in the...
Okay. March is almost halfway done. Feels like it just started.
I know.
February was the shortest month of the year, but it was the longest month of the year. Yeah. That was like 3 years.
The end of February is great, but that's beside the point. Most of February was a little bit rough.
It was a hard time. It was a really hard time. So, yeah, but Tim, what are we talking about today?
So I was going through some of my old stuff. I'll be honest. I was looking through some of my old Dungeons and Dragons stuff from high school. Back when I was planning out another world that I ended up taking with me on my mission and playing with that world with a bunch of the guys that I was with.
That's awesome.
A bunch of the other elders, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. But then I came home and I put all that stuff away, and I was going through it again just the other day, and I was like, oh, this is a story. This is not Dungeons and Dragons. This is a story from high school, something I wrote. I wrote notes for it in high school because it was an idea that a couple friends and I had talked about and bounced off each other during class, and it was just a cool idea. I think the original idea is we were going to turn this into a movie, and we were going to play the characters, but then that never happened. Anyway, this production is called Starforged. Well, I'm gonna give you one guess as to what this is about, other than what I've already told you.
I'm gonna guess giant magical dwarves. Was this inspired by Avengers Infinity War?
No.
Really? Because now I'm just imagining dwarves using stars to, forge. I'm thinking of the Infinity Gauntlet guy.
Mm-hmm.
He forge metals out of stars. That's what I'm thinking. So
this is not it.
Starforged.
Not even close.
Wow.
Well, kind of close. It's in space. This is. I know. I keep saying that I'm not much of a sci-fi guy.
He says it a lot.
I do. To be fair, this is sci-fi, but it's also fantasy because this is space dragons and space knights. Like take Nimona.
Are the knights
and throw them into
dragons
space?
Alien, or are they actual dragons, or are they mechanical? Because I was going yes. Yes, to all of it.
Yeah. So I guess I'll get into it. I've got 9 pages of notes, or 10 pages of notes. Sorry. I've got, I had like closer to 30 pages of notes, just ideas that my friends and I had bounced off each other, and I compiled them and I cut out some bits because they didn't fit, like the flower garden and random things that were kind of lame. If you know, you know. Actually, I don't think any of you listening were part of that conversation because the 3 people that I talked about this with, we don't talk anymore.
Oh,
which is kind of sad. But anyway,
all right. Well, I want to hear about this world or universe.
Well, it is our world.
Oh,
our solar system.
Oh.
This is in the solar system, our solar system. And it takes place in other star systems as well, but mainly kind of centralized here in the solar system. This is the distant future, probably a couple thousand years in the future, where humanity has advanced far enough that that we expanded out into the solar system. We were able to terraform Mars. We were able to terraform Venus. We were able to terraform some of the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, and colonize those as kind of outposts. And then later, we ended up colonizing other systems with our light speed warships that we used to conquer other galaxies or other star systems. Yes, there are aliens. Most of the aliens in this setting are long gone, either because we conquered and eradicated them, or because they fled because humanity is terrifying.
Did elves leave to go on a different planet in this story?
I don't think we ever talked about space elves.
Oh, but now I want that. I need that.
We did talk about what if Toy Story was actually like the aliens from Toy Story existed, and that's why they look the way they do.
Oh, you mean the little green guys?
The little green guys.
Ooh.
But
it moves.
There are 3 species that we're gonna focus on in this story. Humanity.
Okay. I would hope so.
Dragons.
Okay.
And then another type of dragon.
Dragonborn.
No.
Oh.
This let's call them
worms?
Let's call them devourers.
Okay.
They are moon-sized monsters that
eat planets.
Think if you've ever watched the Doctor Who episode where they find the entire city of London floating in space on the back of a giant space whale. Kind of like that.
You're going to have to find that picture so I can put it in the podcast.
I don't want to get copyright striked for that.
Okay.
Sorry. But like space whale, gargantuan, size of a moon, and terrifying.
It's a dragon that big?
It's called a devourer because it consumes stars to grow. So the one that we're gonna the one we're going to see is about the size of our moon of Luna,
and it eats they eat stars,
devours
themselves,
stars far bigger, and convert it into energy and allow them to
do they
grow.
Walk up and they slowly just start feeding? Speaking of stars getting eaten and solar system, I hope everyone is excited for next week for Project Hail Mary. I am so excited. So anyway, I had to do a little selfish plug.
I was like, wait a minute, is he actually going to talk about Destiny?
No. No. I think I'm going to skip Destiny. I'm going to go straight to Bungie's new game and just
Marathon?
I'm going to do it spite Ethan and Tim. So
if you actually play Marathon, I will get it and I will play with you. If only to try to convince you to play Destiny.
I'll will be just fresh on it together, so it'll be fun.
We gotta convince Ethan to put away
childish things,
angry feelings about Bungie right now. Anyway, so basically, distant future where humanity has survived on scattered worlds throughout our system and nearby systems. We have taken on rather than dealing with guns that run out of ammo and energy, rifles and stuff that require energy to function. We reverted back to the trusty old sword, lance, spear, the kinds of weapons that don't require ammunition, because ammunition is a finite resource. We are at the point where we can empower these weapons. These star lances are able to, cosmic lances are able to be empowered by solar energy.
Can they extend like way farther?
A little bit, yeah. They're able to. That's part of the quote unquote ammunition that they utilize. Imagine kind of like a glaive in Destiny. For those of you who play, it's a glaive or it's a lance that you're able to utilize as such. But then, if it's charged, which it takes time, you are able to fire out a beam of light.
Okay, you all are going to go on an adventure because they're missing all your hand motions, Tim. Y'all are just going to... Tim's right-handed.
I am right-handed.
We're going to shift you around. We're going to see if that helps the people. So y'all went on a little adventure. Oh, that looks so much better. Now I'm blue. Why am I blue? It's fine. So, anyway, sorry.
Anyway, these soldiers utilizing these weapons, they also have kind of this stellar armor. And I mean stellar in that it's related to stars, not stellar in that it's awesome.
It's awesome!
But it is awesome. Anyway, they utilize the stellar armor and they utilize these stellar weapons that are able to basically fire beams of energy and such. And they bond genetically engineered dragons.
Okay.
In one of our expeditions, a good 1,000 years in the past, to a faraway planet and its sister or star and its associated system, we discovered ancient alien technology that allowed us to genetically engineer faster than light speed dragons called void dragons. These come back.
No, we're getting a full shot of you. We're changing everything.
These knights, known as Star Knights, they will bond these dragons to defend civilization from invading alien armies and envoys and these gargantuan beasts that float in the endless abyss that is the space between planets and star systems and galaxies. And we no longer build warships to combat these alien forces. We build dragons using the alien biotechnology to create these massive living creatures. Think like the size of a blue whale. If it was
Tim really likes whales today,
like a cat,
yeah,
or a dragon,
yeah,
more cat-like dragons, but in space, like Aragon,
yeah,
in space.
Pigs in space.
Anyway, these void dragons are able to fold space between their wings using artificial gravity wells that they create. They're able to fold space between their wings.
And that's how they teleport.
And that's how they are able to move faster than light. And then
are they I'm imagining that they are almost cyboric. How do you say that word?
Cyborgish.
Yeah, cyborgish.
I
Like
don't
they-
think we ever talked about them being quite cyborgish, more genetically engineered.
Okay.
Like
I'm
if-
imagining there's a few pieces of like space. Well, okay, so do they breathe in space? How do they breathe? Like what?
They don't need to breathe.
Okay. What about the humans that ride them? They
That's
need
what
to
their armor's for.
breathe. Okay.
Their armor is able to transfer or take the carbon dioxide that we breathe out and turn it back into oxygen for us to breathe in, and just recycles the
I'm
air.
just
that we breathe.
imagining Red Rising and Aragon had a baby. So
Sure.
you need to read Red
I need
Rising.
I need to read Red Rising.
Read Red. You need to
I am in the middle. Actually, I'm at the
You
end.
need to read Rising.
I am at the end of Mistborn Book 2. After I finish Mistborn Book 3, then I'm going to go on to Isles of the Emberdark. And then I've got
think
other
about it.
Then I've got other books I got to read.
Dang it!
I've got a list.
It's a tough for everyone out there who's considering Red Rising. Do it. Red God's coming. Anyway.
Anyway, these dragons can also breathe plasma.
Okay, that's
They're able to spit plasma that is able to melt starships. And
So do we still fly ships?
yes,
I would imagine I don't
Yes,
think
we have-
how would you take colonies of humans out to other planets?
we have ships. This order of Star Knights, they utilize the dragons.
Yeah.
They bond with a dragon, and an unbound dragon is not very common, because an unbound dragon typically is killed.
So with a drag, is it kind of like in most stories for all of the Fourth Wing fans? Is it if the dragon dies, the human dies? Is it that deep of a connection?
More like Aragon, where if the dragon dies or the rider dies, the other suffers for the rest of their life, and sometimes that ends in crippling pain, and sometimes that ends in
Depression.
they die because they lose the will to live.
Depression.
But yeah, so there's this order of knights called the Order of the Asterix, and they are able to bond with the dragons. They're called the Star Knights, and each knight wears their stellar armor, which is a fusion of kind of the medieval aesthetic
Stellar.
combined with the advanced technologies that we have at that point. These knights, if they're ever separated from their weapon or from their dragon, they do have Metroid-esque hand cannons that
'Cause
they're
why
able to
not?
use. They'll utilize those to create energy blades to cut through metal as tools and stuff. Their weapons are primarily these plasma lances that are able to absorb energy from solar energy coming off of the suns, off of the stars in their system, converting that into kind of a plasma blast that they're able to send off every few minutes. Gravitic shields that are able to harness gravity itself to pull. Right, when a shield is activated, it pulls things toward it. Imagine a lurcher,
Yeah.
like a haze killer
Yeah.
in Mistborn.
Yeah.
And then the light blades, which are kind of like lightsabers, but not really.
Energy swords.
They're energy swords, but they have a metal blade that creates this plasma field around the edge of the blade.
Have you seen the Doomslayer sword?
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. And I'll put a little thing
And these light blades are forged from collapsing starlight. Star forged. The dragons and the armor are as well.
So the dragons how are the dragons forged? Is that how they're born? They throw the eggs in the sun?
No.
Oh.
They take basically they
So why? So are we?
they collect the materials from a collapsing star
Okay.
and take it back to their forges, and these collapsing stars are kind of held in a stasis as they're collapsing, which allows us and the forge masters to take the collapsing star itself and kind of cause it to continue to fission, react, to create new elements, without sending out all of the energy, and it's all just contained until we get elements that we haven't actually discovered.
You know, so this is
a very much like chemistry and physics class.
No, I really like
that.
that. The idea that it's like, oh, this star came from this solar system far away, and we've brought it back. But I'm imagining, and I don't know how. Let me just get this across because it came into my mind. I'm imagining that, they have the collapsing star. Like somehow they've taken it, they've done all the parts, they've done everything you said, and it's like the final moments of this star, and it's getting like the black hole. And I'm imagining they are like collapsing it, and then they like get it to this point where it's like it's this little sphere, egg shape, and they input all of these. They like press a button, all these tubes go in, and it puts all of this deposits, and it puts this like all these things needed, and all of a sudden you hear this like little bang, this little pop, and then this just meshy ball. They start pressing more buttons and just science fiction your way out of it, whatever. And we just see
technology we haven't discovered yet.
And it slowly turns into. I'm imagining like this awful putty ditto type thing is happening, and it's like we see movement, we see things, and we see that this shell form around it, and then finally it's like this weird cosmic egg, and then bam, baby dragon forged from a star.
Then from that point on, as it grows and matures, it is lab grown.
Yeah. Like just
engineered and
like just like it literally is like, and they're named after all the stars. Like they are literally like, you were once a star. You're not just like, oh, you made, like it's like no, you were a star.
They're able to take multiple samples from one star.
Okay. So
they'd be given.
Well, now I went all
names,
crazy.
But I do like that.
The idea of like taking one dying star, and they're like, what did you do? Oh, we just shrunk a dying star. What do you mean you shrunk a dying star? We just did. We did it. Why? Science. How'd we shrink it? We did. But all that energy, yep. And what did it make? This. Bam, dragon lands. Oh my. And it's like one of them was made from a black hole. Look, and there's this giant black dragon. You're like, oh, glob. Funny enough, that's the second black dragon we've talked about this week.
It is.
Uh-huh.
It is.
That's funny. It's funny. Tim says he's very much not science fiction. I say I'm very much not fantasy.
But
yet we both equally love both those genres very much.
I prefer medieval fantasy.
And I prefer science fiction. But when it gets to talking about it, it's like dragons.
Oh, my foot's asleep. Sorry. I just got what my wife likes to call the wrinkling.
The wrinkling.
Oh. Okay. Anyway, for centuries, this order of asterisks have kept peace across dozens of worlds in multiple galaxies. Not multiple galaxies. We're still in our galaxy, but multiple star systems. But the dragons are starting to evolve.
Okay.
And something ancient is waking in the void.
Okay.
Which I already mentioned. This is the Devourer at the beginning.
So before you go more into it, do the dragons live a lot longer?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
So they can have multiple.
Dragons can live for for about 200 years before they need to be quote unquote reserviced, meaning they are recycled.
Oh.
When their faculties begin to shut down, they are humanely executed and recycled in what is called Phoenix Protocol.
Okay.
And they keep their name and everything. They're even sometimes able to keep their memories. Sometimes that process goes awry and they have to be recycled again just to perfect it. But
okay, my brain went.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna in our setting. I've got four kind of main characters. We've got Orion.
Okay. Does he have a cool belt?
Sure. One of the guys that I put this together with, his dog was named Orion.
Oh.
And the dog passed away. And so
yeah. Well, now I feel terrible.
Anyway.
It's a perfect
We've
name.
got Sir Orion, who is a former Star Knight who was exiled after disobeying direct orders in a battle that destroyed an entire colony. The orders he disobeyed did not cause the destruction of a colony. It would have saved the colony had his commanding officer listened to him.
Okay.
His dragon was killed, saving him. There will be a flashback at some point. I don't think we ever decided where, but there will be a flashback where the dragon wraps its gravitic wings around Orion and goes supernova, killing itself, but sending Orion back to Earth, which has been renamed to Helion as the primary center of humanity's origin. He's very stubborn, but he is very, very honorable. Kind of down. He's kind of your Dalinar character if Dalinar were 30 years younger.
He's
Brom.
Yeah.
Again, a lot younger. He's like he's in his early 30s. He's about Willem's age, maybe a couple years older.
Fine.
But yeah, that's Orion. Then there's Nyryx. Nyryx is an unbonded dragon whose rider had been murdered. I honestly don't remember. I don't think I ever wrote it down because it wasn't.
I didn't write it down.
Anyway, his rider had been murdered. He is very intelligent. And because he has gone so long without being serviced, he learned how to self-service and how to alter parts of himself. Again, this is kind of that evolving bit.
Okay.
Where some of the dragons are evolving. He's gone long enough without a rider and being solo that when things start to malfunction, he'll fix it himself. And then he'll be like, oh, if I do it this way, I can go faster without warping space. If I do this, my plasma blasts get hotter, that kind of thing. So
they fleshy or are they?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are fleshy, but they are also like they're genetically engineered. They're not built like a machine. They have been genetically engineered to have certain traits. Their DNA at the molecular level has been altered and set in place.
Okay.
But yeah, so Nyryx is unbound, and unlike the typical dragons, Nyryx has never been resurfaced. He is far older. He was one of the first, and he has been self-servicing for a good 700 or 800 years. When a dragon typically only lasts about 200 years before it needs to be.
So
before he needs to undergo Phoenix protocol.
Is he like just this rogue thing?
Yeah, he doesn't need to exist on a planet. He can just be around. He can just float in the void. So he'll visit planets to service himself, and I'm hearing myself. Something.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, not he. She.
Oh.
She.
Oh.
Nerix is female.
Okay.
I misread. Anyway, she remembers something older. She remembers what came before. Having never been resurfaced through Phoenix Protocol, she's never had to deal with losing memory. She's instead upgraded her memory so that her memory can process faster. So she does have mechanical parts, kind of cyborgish, but not quite the same as like what you would imagine like Cyborg in the Justice League. It's more enhancements.
There we go. You don't have to hear your voice anymore.
Cool.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, kind of enhancements, more like bits of armor that she's attached to her body to allow her to do different things. For example, her tail, the very tip of the tail, now has kind of a metallic sheath that she's able to pull off and utilize as a lance. As she blasts her way through space, she's able to just hold the lance out with her front claws and pierce through
a dragon
whatever.
Using a lance and a sword. That's awesome.
But yeah, so that's Nerix. If you didn't guess, Orion and Nerix bond.
What? No. What?
Yeah, I know. It's
who
you never would have guessed.
Never would have guessed.
There is High Commander Valdrake. She is one of the most legendary Star Knights, and she is the leader of the Asterix Order. She is in charge of this Order of Knights.
Okay.
She is respected, brilliant. She is secretly obsessed with unlocking the true power of dragons. So there will be a scene where we cut to her, and she does her thing, and then in a very Palpatine kind of way, she sneaks into a back room and is talking with scientists, and there is a dragon face or belly up on a large table with machines drilling into it and cutting it open and pulling things out and replacing it.
So why? Okay. Why would she need to find the secret of it if we made them?
Or that is the secret. We didn't invent this technology. She thinks that it needs to be perfected. Her belief is that humanity has to rule the entire galaxy through fire. Because if we don't use force, then we're going to get walked over. So in order to take over the entire galaxy, instead of the 3 or 4 systems that we've come to inhabit, she wants to take over the entire galaxy, including all of the alien life that exists, and do that with force. And then our final character is Princess Celine.
Oh.
So the kind of the government systems that I have is there is a high king and high queen in each system. Basically a governor in each star system. And and they are political leaders and strategists, and they are typically at least the High Kings are typically ex dragon riders whose dragons either were killed or had undergone Phoenix Protocol. There have been some in the past that they lived, that their dragons outlived them, and so they were open dragon riders. They were open knights.
So do we
during
as
their reign.
humans live a lot longer now?
Yeah, we live about 125 years
Okay.
ish. Not a crazy amount of time, but a little bit longer than typical.
Well, okay, but yeah, like being 100, but you're still functioning like a
Yeah.
60-year-old. Yeah, that sounds fine.
So, but yeah, Princess Celine, her parents are not king and queen.
Okay.
High King and High Queen is a government role that is kind of like the U.S. where they're elected. Princesses, instead of being the heirs to the throne, princess is a title bestowed upon someone who is in charge of a certain function in that system.
Okay.
Princess Celine is she's essentially the princess in charge of the Order of Knights in her system, in her star system. Her star system is not the solar system. It is one of the adjacent systems.
Okay.
She is secretly a dragon rider.
Oh.
She bonded a dragon at a young age and kept it secret because unauthorized bonding with a dragon is grounds for execution, or immediate induction into the order under very strict supervision. But yeah, she is a political leader. She's a strategist, and her role as kind of the leader of the order in her star system has given her ideas and things that lead her to suspect the order has been hiding something.
Okay.
About the origin of these dragons and about dragons in general.
Okay, so the origins of the dragon is what is tripping me up.
Uh-huh.
Where? Why? Who?
So, essentially,
or is this something that really is very detrimental to the story? Like, it's like,
I mean, I can tell you. Essentially,
You're all gonna hear
dragons were not originally created by mankind. They were originally an alien species that had created means of artificially creating new dragons.
so dragons from medieval times were aliens.
Yeah, medieval dragons, the stories that we have now, were actually aliens that were unable to leave, and their descendants were impure because they were not artificially created to be perfect.
Yeah, there just were these weird, like, baby ones that couldn't. I don't know. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, they totally just like stole stuff and did stuff. No, they were trying to get material to make themselves better, and they just died. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, essentially, dragons perpetuated themselves not through organic breeding, but through artificial creation. It's like if we, instead of creating other humans the natural way, if instead we did it the Gattaca way, where we.
That's a good one.
It is.
Literally talked. It's weird because I literally talked about that the other day with my little sister. That's crazy.
If you don't understand, Gattaca is a movie where it's a story where humanity exists and humans are able to
Pick and choose what
Pick and-
traits they want.
pick and choose what traits they want.
Yep.
And that's, genetically. And so the main character is a natural human made the natural way.
But you can't function in that society.
No.
You don't. You can't be anything aspiring. You're treated as the lowest of low.
Yeah.
You can't raise anything. And since the bar's raised so high, because, you can't, if you want to compete against Olympians, they have already been genetically modified. You want to pay for
You want to be in any industry, you're kind of screwed because everybody's been genetically altered to be smarter, faster, better at that thing than you. And so the main character in that movie infiltrates, and it's a good movie.
Anybody prove it? It's good, and it's like 99.
Yeah,
I did not know it was older than you. I was like, I saw that the other day that Lauren said the date, and I was like, what?
It's a good movie.
It's older than Tim.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Good
It's worth it.
recommendation. So
yeah, dragons basically did that.
were aliens.
Yes,
They
genetically modified themselves and got to the point where instead of taking an egg and fertilizing it and then genetically altering it that way, they just started taking the collapsing essence of a star that had all of the capability to become what becomes a dragon, and they're able to genetically create them that way. Those dragons kind of died out until humanity found them again, and there were a couple dragons left that kind of tipped us off. That
they should have just no. They
were dead dragons.
Yeah, they found a carcass.
They found we found the corpses of these genetically modified dragons around this alien tech, and we were able to replicate it. That's the origin of dragons.
I like it.
There is something else that I'll get to that pertains to the origin of dragons that comes a little bit later. You might be able to guess, but I'll touch on that later.
We're just going to say, to make it, that there were some genetically modified. They came, they somehow got stranded here, and slowly they made an abundance of smaller dragons, but still, that's a small population. We as humans killed them, but they stayed in our stories. They weren't as awesome. They didn't breathe plasma. They breathed fire. They changed slightly. They weren't as strong. So, okay, I like it. And maybe they thought these dragons were like ancient things, but really they weren't ancient. They were just these. Maybe a few of them were, but I like it. I really like that. And I don't think it's like, well, how come they don't look funny? They don't look all like these crazy things. I'm like, are you kidding me? Look at that. And it shows so what do the more, I don't know. Okay. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I like the idea that they're more alien. It's like, oh, they had scales. Nah, they actually look kind of different, fleshy. It's a cool idea.
The scales was armor.
Okay.
More panels that they were able to access.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other more, so if they take off their armor, are they just little fleshy guys? What?
Pretty much.
Okay. Ew, like a snake?
Mm-hmm.
Like a snack? Okay.
A snaky snack.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah. So I think that's everything you need to know about the story before we get into the actual meat of the main story. So to start, Orion lives on kind of the fringe of one of the mining worlds, in not our system,
but
not the solar system, but the neighboring one where Princess Selene is in charge of the Order. Orion was once part of the Order in the solar system, but from being banished from the Order,
demoted,
exiled, He came to live kind of at the edges of society on this mining world, which after hundreds of years of mining this world and stripping it of its resources, this world is turned into a desert, Tatooine style. He's kind of hiding from the Order at this point because he doesn't want to have to go through the bureaucracy and the courts and everything again. And yeah, anyway, this massive void dragon, wounded and fleeing from something, crashes into the desert. And that's where Orion is going to discover that this dragon is Nyryx. She's been damaged. Her faster than light, gravitic wings don't function properly. They've been damaged. And they kind of have a conversation, and she's like, I got to get out of here. I need to alert the Order because they're the only ones that can stop this thing, blah, blah, blah. Wait, actually, I can't because the Order is part of what's hunting me, but there's something bigger than the Order, and it just kind of goes on like that, and finally, Orion they kind of touch briefly, and a bond forms, and they're both kind of surprised at that, and they're like, both outcasts, let's do this. We got this. We gotta find someone who isn't going to execute us both. Now that
because a rogue dragon, but then him busting in, he'll get arrested.
Yep, a banished member, an ex-member of the Order, forming a new bond is grounds. That is for sure grounds for execution for both him and the dragon.
And it definitely needs to be this like, I don't want to do it, you don't want, I don't like you, and that's the connection at the beginning. It needs to be like, I imagine like she's like stranded in like some net, and he's like, calm down, pulls out like a old knife.
It's more she crashed into the sand in this desert. Well, it crystallized, and she is trapped in this glass.
And he has the tools. He has some things.
He still has his armor.
Yeah.
He still has his armor. He's able to cut through anything.
Yeah.
And if she blasts it with her plasma beam, she'll melt herself.
Yeah, definitely would want that, like, very much just like that. I don't like you, you don't like me, but we're doing this. It's fine. Like, I imagine, like, the bond happens. He's like, are you? No. And she's like, oh, you think I want to? No. Yes, the exiled one and maybe she heard the story wrong. Like, oh yes, you killed your whole troop. Good job. Like, you think I want to be stuck with that for a night? Huh?
Whole colony.
Oh, whole colony.
That's more like a full planet is destroyed.
Like, oh yes, because I want to be with the failed knight who killed a whole colony. If I were to be with a knight, why would I want to be with you? You failed and killed hundreds and millions. I don't want to hear it.
Billions.
Dang. So, okay. But it's not his fault.
It's not his fault. And he'll tell her the story later.
Okay.
But at the moment, before he can quite understand what's going on, the Star Knights arrive chasing her. And they escape together with, he helps her fix some of what's going on, and she's able to at least fly and get out. And he puts on his helmet and they fly. And while they're fleeing across the system, Nyryx, through their bond, unintentionally starts communicating with Orion. Not with words, but with memories. And Orion discovers the truth that the Order did not create the dragons as they've been telling everybody, that they create the dragons. No, they found them. As I explained earlier, they found them on an alien world where dragons had once lived, and humanity just took that technology to utilize it to conquer rather than protect, which was their original function. This is where I have to explain the other bit about the origin of dragons. The most ancient of dragons, as they grow and get older, occasionally their minds will go before their bodies do. When that happens, the artificially created body begins to warp a little bit and requires sustenance, requires to be fed. And what do dragons feed upon?
Oh. What's that? It's his wife. I'm gonna pause. All right, and we're back. Sorry.
Interrupted. It's
by
okay.
by Tim's loving family. So I don't think that's never happened before where she does that. So that was really cool. It's like, who's knocking at the door? So I hope you all got to like kind of enjoy that for like a little second. So yeah.
Anyway.
Dark, big, giant. Last thing I remember, there was when an ancient dragon dies or is dying, their body's giving out and it's forming. And I'm imagining
their body requires sustenance. Their mind is gone. The only thing that they have left is I need fuel, right? And typically for humans, fuel is food, right? Food, drink, that is our fuel. For a dragon, their fuel comes from solar energy. On occasion, a dragon will have to dip close to the sun to absorb enough energy to keep it going. And they only have to do that once every like 25 to 50 years.
Okay. Nice sun bath.
Yeah. But occasionally when the dragon's mind goes, this is part of why Phoenix Protocol exists. It was built in to the system when humanity found it. Phoenix Protocol was required for all dragons because they didn't want to create these. It's an unfair way to put it, but these undead dragons.
Okay.
Where their bodies keep going, their minds are gone. And these dragons continue to grow as they feed off of stars until they have devoured the entirety of that star and have become much more gargantuan than they normally are.
I'm imagining and I don't know her name, but a weird dragon version of the undead monster thing from Star Wars.
Abeloth?
Yes.
No. No. This would be more a dragon version of
Galactus?
More the Star Eater from
Superman? Okay.
But like as a dragon.
Okay.
Like it eats stars.
But I'm imagining its eyes are like sunken back. There's like no eyes.
Yeah.
And
just black pits for eyes. And they are incredibly dense because they take this energy from the stars.
Are they stupid or are they heavy? Just kidding. Both.
More they act on instinct. All they want is to consume. And after they've consumed enough, they will fall into a deep slumber for who knows how long. Millennia. When they awake, they are starving and they require to eat more and more and more until the biggest of them are able to eat and consume entire galaxies without slowing, without slumbering.
Oh, I imagine there's this. Is there like a language of the dragons?
Probably. I don't think we ever got that far.
And that's okay. I'm imagining that there was a language of the dragons, and there's one part where, like, the captain, the one that's trying to figure everything out, wants to discover more. I imagine her motives. I kind of think of her motives as the cliche of had like a vision of eternal darkness, and she thinks that bringing light, like the light of the.
No, this is her more like. Her entire goal is power.
It's just power.
She wants to be the strongest, and she wants to lead humanity as a whole into a new age where we are superior to everything else in the galaxy because of these dragons that we've created.
And I think that
Created.
that one works too.
Yeah.
But if I could say really quick, sorry, I know,
Yeah,
I know
no,
you're
good,
like,
you're good.
hold on. But there's the one scene though that I'm just imagining is that either way, regardless of her, does want this power, and she is still trying to do her job though. But all I'm imagining is that they're kind of confronting her about what she's been doing, and there's kind of like an interruption, and it's someone like there is a word, there's just a noise coming from like deep in space, and they're like, what is it? And they're like, it's just one draconic word. They're like, what? It's just one word. And they play it over the speaker, and they play it, and all the dragons, like, no one gets it, but then this ancient one that you talked about, what's her name?
Nerix.
Nerix just goes and he looks at her like, what does it mean? Eat.
Consume.
Yeah, just ooh, like though that type is. I feel like that would be a scene where you're like,
Imagine
changes the whole shift of the movie. You're like, oh crap,
kind of the consume, like Ukatoa from Critical Role Campaign 2. Again, if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. And I feel like that would be like a tone. Like I love how it would be like, oh, everyone's like, we're focusing on the commander. Like this is like a big twist. Like everyone's focused on the commander. Oh, we got you. We're gonna win. And then it's like, oh, there's actually something worse. And this thing is coming.
Yeah.
It's been coming because of all the commotion that we've been doing, and it's just gonna eat. So
yeah.
Ew, when they look out in the stars, there's just like there's just lines of galaxies missing. You're like, what? Something's eating them. Ew. They look up. Hey, where all the lights go in the sky? Where's that trail of nothing? It's gone. Ew. Something's coming. I love it.
Essentially, Valdrake is going to awaken this beast. They're going to discover a moon-sized asteroid floating not too far outside of the galaxy's perimeter, kind of orbiting the galaxy, and Valdrake is going to inspect it herself with her dragon, and they're going to accidentally wake the beast. They're going to wake the devourer. And Valdrake over the next little bit is going to be, she's basically gonna keep it secret from everybody. This is her thing, and she's going to go back to that dragon homeworld in that other system, explore in the catacombs of the dragons, and she's going to discover a helmet that will allow her to essentially control the devourer. And so it is, it's going to consume stars, and it enters the galaxy. And it's at the point where it could consume about half the galaxy before it needs to slumber again. So she is going to control this thing and bring it from the opposite side of the galaxy around the edge, consuming every star and its system until they reach the outskirts of the human civilizations, so that they can conquer everywhere else. She basically at this point is like, I alone control this thing. I should be in charge of the entire galaxy.
So where are other dragons? Did this species just die, or are we ever going to interact with other living
in this
dragons?
Galaxy? There aren't any.
There's none. But
in other galaxies, we might see a sequel.
Okay.
Where we do, but in our galaxy, the dragons have died off at this point.
Okay.
Whether because they wanted to stop creating more devourers, or because they realized that they can't keep going. They can't keep fighting the Devourers, so they got to just give up. Or we don't know. We don't know why they died out. But yeah, it's Valdrake is basically going to use it to use this Devourer to hold the galaxy hostage.
Okay.
I alone control this thing. Give me the power. Listen to me, kind of thing, or I will destroy your system. This is where Princess Celine comes in. She's going to basically take all of the Star Knights, but their dragons are going to be terrified of it. And she's going to be going around all of the systems that we inhabit, and she's going to be pulling together a full army.
Putting together a team. We're in.
All of our dragons, the ones that we created, are going to be terrified of the Devourer. They just their sense of self-preservation and the instincts that come from their instincts are going to terrify them of this thing, because this is the natural enemy of the dragons, is a bigger dragon, right? And only Nyryx is willing. She's the strongest of the dragons. She's the only one who's able to really do anything about it. So the climax is basically going to take place. We'll have some filler stuff that explains certain things and takes us from point A to point B. This is where we're going to have that climactic battle, where it's going to take place inside of a dying star system. This is one of our systems, and the Devourer has, Valdrake has decided, you're being too slow. I got to speed things up. Let's destroy one of our colony systems. So inside of this dying star system,
or it could be just a lesson to everyone.
Yeah.
Both, two birds, one stone. I feel like just a lesson to be taught, especially to the princess, could be her original system, Princess Leia style.
Yeah. The Dragon Knights, the Star Knights are going to charge through space, and they'll attack. Valdrake basically has a fleet of starships, because how the starships, how the warships function is there's the warships, kind of like our big battleships, and then there's the dragons, and the dragons kind of lead the assault so that the bigger warships are able to rain down hellfire on everything. We have planet-destroying ships that are able to be led by these dragons into battle to protect the ships. So dragons are the dragons are going to fight Valdrake's warships, while Orion and Nyryx are going to dive into this Devourer's essentially gravity well. What basically, as the Devourer is consuming this star, it's orbiting the star very close, about as close as Mercury is to our star,
to
our sun, and it's just consuming as it goes around, and it only takes a few days to fully consume the star, but that is a few days. So Orion and Nyryx are going to dive into this storm, because as it's devouring its own gravity, because it is so dense from having consumed so many stars, is able to create its own mini, not quite solar system, but an orbit system. it has created moons from the broken shards of worlds that have been destroyed. And this is where Orion and Valdrake are going to fight, and it'll be epic. They'll have they pass by each other, and a lance bounces off a shield. They cross swords. They push each other with their shields.
But this dragon, this dead thing, is huge, right? Like it's
it's gargantuan. It's Valdrake is using her dragon and controlling the devourer from atop her dragon.
Okay, sorry. I got you. Why is her dragon? So sorry, everyone. Why is her dragon willing?
Her dragon is one of the ones that she experimented on.
Oh.
So it doesn't know any better. It can't.
It's lobotomized.
Yes. Imagine fear centers of the brain have been removed.
Yeah.
And it's entirely loyal to her because that's how it was created.
She's made, okay, I'm imagining kind of How to Train Your Dragon type stuff now. Kind of alpha and... All right. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So the dragons will spiral through kind of the solar flares and fight through asteroid fields and everything.
And it has to be dead quiet. Dead space quiet.
Yeah.
And we have the epic music from Zuko and Azula's duel. Like that type of stuff. In the background.
The Agni Kai.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just this awesome. We can hear stuff through their helmets. That's the only way I would allow sound of the fire, the clashing is heard through their helmets. As in their what noises they're making.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can see it. I can see
the sound doesn't travel in space.
This thing is just in the background, just
consuming.
Yeah, just ooh. Yeah. I'm loving it.
At some point, Valdrake is going to stab Nyryx.
No.
And Nyryx is going to almost be killed. And Orion is going to realize that
you.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Valdrake is not Valdrake. Orion is going to realize that the only way to stop a devourer the size of this one is to take another dragon and kind of counteract, because it's a dragon is made from a dying star.
Yeah.
Therefore, a devourer that is consuming stars should be able to be defeated by
when two supernovas attack. What happens if you divide by 0?
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
So essentially, Nyryx and Orion are going to be communicating through emotion and memory and thoughts. Not words, but everything else.
Yeah.
And they're going to come to the conclusion. And my friends and I imagined that we would kind of cut to them having a real conversation in space, and they're talking with words.
Okay.
They can understand each other well enough that with emotions and thoughts and memories, they're able to communicate as if they were talking.
So the dragons don't talk.
They do.
Okay.
They do.
I just want to get that. Okay.
But they can't talk while they're in space.
Okay.
You can't hear.
Obviously.
Yeah, they're basically gonna talk, and they're gonna, we'll see flashes of, we'll see a light blade clash against a shield. We'll see a blast of plasma from a dragon.
And I'm
barely
guessing that
miss.
She has made a squadron. The captain has made her own little army.
Yes.
Of people, of subordinates, of lobotomized dragons, and just of she's not alone in this. Not just the okay. It's a war.
It is a war.
It's a big old fight.
Mm-hmm.
Dragons and spaceships, and I love it.
Spaceships.
I'm gonna build a spaceship.
But yeah, they're going to while Orion and Valdrake are clashing and their dragons are clashing. They're going to be having this conversation, and they're going to come to the conclusion that Nyryx isn't powerful enough to kill a devourer. But if she goes supernova, she is powerful enough to trap the devourer and send it into slumber and have it orbit the star and fall into it. And be trapped within the star's gravitic well.
Until it is destroyed by the sun.
Until it's either destroyed or until it awakes 1,000 years later.
And that'll be their problem.
Orion's really sad about it. He's like, I don't want to lose my second dragon, but Nyryx is like, we got no other choice. So Orion is essentially going to bid farewell. Nyryx is going to tap him on the shoulder with her wings. Her wings are going to send him away.
Kind of reminiscent of what his other dragon did.
And she is going to go supernova. Completely explode. And it is going to it's going to absolutely obliterate Valdrake, her dragon. The Pompeii baby.
The Pompeii baby.
Yes.
I'm putting that right when you say that.
It's going to obliterate her, turn her to dust, while also that explosion, instead of wiping out the entire system, the entire star system, because she's already within the gravity well of the Devourer, all of that explosion is just sucked up. And it is the force of several stars, because it is supernova, not collapsing dying star.
Yeah.
And that puts the Devourer to sleep, and Orion's going to look up and he's going to watch as this little dark blot is absorbed, is pulled into the star from aboard Princess Celine's ship. And yeah, so the galaxy will survive.
Hooray!
The Order of Asterix is going to collapse. And Orion is going to become, under Celine, Orion is going to become the new commander of the Order.
So when they...
And he's going to rename it to the Order of Nyryx.
Oh.
In memory of his second dragon.
So when they slumber, is it like curling up into like a little moon? I'm imagining it's like curling up into like a small... You
know how in the D&D movie, there's Themberchaud?
Yeah.
The big chunky red dragon?
Chunky red dragon.
It's kind of like that, where the limbs are just kind of floating there, and it's just consuming.
Chunk. So, all right. Well, I kind of went, because I got mad at you. I was imagining, wait. I'm going to ask, because I got to ask. Before you say it, Tim hasn't told me this story. I got to ask. Is he somehow going to do a Phoenix program and get Nyryx back?
No. No. He is going to Phoenix Protocol another dragon, and rename it Nyryx, but it is not his Nyryx.
Okay.
He does Phoenix Protocol another dragon whose rider had been killed.
Okay.
Retain memory and everything and rename Nyryx. Which doesn't happen. Typically when a dragon is renamed, Phoenix Protocol wipes the memory as well.
Yeah.
But he's keeping the memory so that his new Nyryx knows what happened.
Is there a way? Because I'm sorry, because I'm just imagining. Mm-hmm. Is there a way that we could get the Phoenix? Because I'm imagining like Dumbledore with Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Like the end of the movie is them like, Orion, like Commander Orion, like it was hard, but and then he's like running. I imagine he's running down like a hallway and he's like running, he bursts through. And again, we see the little thing And they're like, sure enough, like, bits of stardust were around. We've gathered it. And it might not be pretty, but there were other dragons that were obliterated. It might not be the same, but I just imagine that, like, it starts forming and it, ugly birth of dragon comes out and he gets forward and you tried, like, yeah, we did our best with memories, but again, there's nothing special. They're just machines. They're meat machines. There's nothing special about this one. He's going to get close and be like, Nirix, and it's going to, and that would be the end of the movie. There's something lame like that. Well, it's not the end of the movie.
No, there's a final shot.
Oh. Is it the chunk?
No.
Tim's like, no, dude.
We will. The ending, right? The galaxy survives.
Hooray.
Order is reformed under Orion.
Awesome.
He's got his new dragon.
Boo.
And talks about, and he pledges that he'll protect the dragons rather than controlling them, and blah blah blah. And there'll be the swell of music, and we'll pan out of the star system, then out of the galaxy, and we'll pan over to just black. And you imagine, like, the credits will start rolling.
Yeah.
But no, you see a distant star go dark, and a second devourer will open its eyes.
Oh gosh.
And it'll cut to black, and the credits will roll, and that is Starforged.
Okay, well, I definitely want to help do a second one with you about it, but my money is still. I want that dragon back. She works so hard to keep, like, everything. I want to think that she does something sneaky, like Baymax style, gives him a claw, like a memory stick. I don't know. We talked about that.
We
made a sequel. We made a sequel. Just by the way, we did. So,
stole it a little bit from Kingdom Hearts, but
Okay, I never played that, so I had no idea. We talked about that.
We talked about it in our episode.
Forever ago. I still forgot about that. Like, I think you asked me, like, did you play Kingdom Hearts? Like, what are you talking about? They did this. I was like,
no, I think Sabrina brought it up.
Oh, that's right. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, that's what they do. And, like, I'm going to fight somebody. So.
Anyway, that's Starforged. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's a story that some of my friends and I came up with in high school. It was more, I came up with the story, they bounced ideas off me and I added them. Kind of like what Willem and I do. But I was kind of in charge of the actual story.
Yeah, as you can tell with that ending. I'm going to make an episode for myself. Anyway, so here's Tuesday. I'm going to do a pitch about Tim's pitch. So, if it were me, I will be honest, I'm sad that it's not the same, not the
same dragon.
Not the same dragon. I'm sad that it's not going to have her memories, because she worked so hard.
It's a little too cliche. We didn't want to go cliche.
But if you're doing sequel...
We had a reason why. And if we ever talk about the sequel...
If you can convince me in a sequel, I will gladly do that.
And this might give you an idea. Think Horsur and Tensoon and Mistborn.
Yeah.
The Kandra.
Yeah.
Kind of that.
Okay. Fine.
But
still anyway. I'm sad. And that just shows you that I was pretty attached to, even and I know you're like, well, you don't even know their names very well. I'm like, I don't care. I'm imagining them in my head. What color was she to you?
Black, like almost like a black purple swirl nebula.
I was odd.
As Nirix, the name Nirix came from Nyx, which if you know Greek mythology, Nyx is the goddess of the night. And
okay,
we were like Nirix, night dragon. We'll see the night sky and her scales and stuff.
I imagine like fiery. Orangish, like almost like a fire, like a
classic fire breathing dragon.
But she was getting older, and it was fading to red and almost white at that point. So I imagine that she had a little bit of white on the outside, and she was aging like a dog.
Mm-hmm.
The white noises, and so anyway, just like an older son. Oh wait, is Blue Giant the biggest? Blue, red.
I don't remember.
It's been a while. So yeah.
I think red.
So
Giant,
it was
no,
that was fun. That was fun. We haven't had just a story. I definitely will have to.
It was fun.
I'm gonna have to. I was thinking about Spider-Man today, and I was like, I need to.
I'm excited for that.
I know. I need to definitely have some thoughts. It will be we'll just be craving more of it. Anyway,
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. So, if you guys don't know, anyway, for the most part, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that was fun. It was.
It was nice to kind of revive that story again. It's been a minute. I'm gonna reach out to those friends.
You should reach out to them. If not, I will gladly help you make sequels. We can talk about a sequel pitch because
we had some ideas for kind of a sequel. We wanted it to be a trilogy because we were like, Star Wars is a trilogy, Lord of the Rings is a trilogy.
Trilogy is just a good number.
It
good
works.
number. Like I would be very mad if a movie
worked
ended at 2.
Great. How to Train Your Dragon's a trilogy. Like yeah. So we had this was the most fleshed out one because this is the one that we actually wanted to create, and it never happened.
So Starforged.
I
like it. I have an idea for the thumbnail. Hopefully I can do it. So I'm excited. But yeah, I mean, that was a lot of fun. Thank you for sharing that, Tim.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Thanks for the
I like the episodes where it's just like, yeah. And you guys can like watch and I hope the few times I had texts from work and I was like, I really shouldn't be answering this, but I'm like, big boy job. So everyone was like, oh, he's bored. But I can see a lot of these characters in mind. I will say, the only thing that I want more of if this were to be ever made, I do want more of the princess because I kept forgetting about her. Totally did.
Her big thing is the second one.
Okay. All right. So she really is like a minor. Okay.
She's more of a minor character in the first. But our idea was we kind of want to expand on her.
Do they meet at the? I feel like they should.
They meet somewhere in the middle when they're figuring out where they're going.
I kind of vote the first time they meet is when he's flung out into space and she goes, "Grab that man," and that's the first time they meet is when she rescues Orion in her ship or on her dragon.
No, because they have an interaction.
They have to interact.
They have an interaction prior. Because that's when she dubs him an honorary member.
She reunites him.
She reunites him and then have a conversation. And that's where they kind of come up with a plan that they've got to fight this thing.
All right, Tim, I got to ask before we shut down everything. Do we ship them or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Big difference.
She's like in her 50s or 60s.
Oh.
Really? I should have mentioned that earlier. He's Willem's age. She is old enough to be his mother.
I was imagining a young Princess Leia.
No.
Okay, that changes the story.
Princess again. Princess is a title, not and it's an elected title, not an inherited title.
Maybe we'll just call her senator then.
Yeah.
I've been imagining a younger woman.
No,
that's awesome.
Valdrake is also like 50s,
I was imagining Valdrake in her 50s, like 40s, 50s, like in like that. Like,
imagine Valdrake is female Dalinar as the Blackthorn.
The thing is, they don't look 60. They don't look 50.
Well,
they look like
I say that's their ages relative to ours.
Okay.
Right. So realistically, he's more in his mid 40s, mid to late 40s. The princess and Valdrake are both closer to 110 or so, 100 to 110.
Okay, I think
maybe 90
her title will help, or we just really make sure because again, I was imagining youngish, out of like
as a commander, he is technically a prince.
Okay.
As that, that's Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I was
elected
I was like,
title.
are we gonna ship them or not? Like, what is
No.
happening here? No, because Tim
No.
made it seem like
Sorry, I should have clarified. She is a lot older than him. She's
Okay.
like twice his age.
Okay. All right.
So-
All right.
All
So
right.
now I'm trying to imagine who would. I'm trying to like who. Okay, who do you have in mind of when you say the princess? Who would play her? Who's alive? Because honestly, I now think of Professor McGonagall. Even though I miss you, Maggie. You're awesome.
No, that
Too old.
Maggie Smith's a little too old.
Okay.
Even
Awesome,
in Harry Potter,
though.
she was a little too old. I imagined more kind of the Madame Pomfrey
Okay.
from Harry Potter.
Okay.
Kind of that look.
All right.
Not old, but kind of matronly.
Okay. All right. Well, before I send everything off, are you satisfied with your care?
I am.
Anything else you want to say?
You guys at this point, you know, I had a lot of fun with this episode. Again, it was really fun to bring it back. I enjoyed this a lot. But yeah, until next time, just love each other, be kind, and remember, your imagination can go beyond the stars.
You heard it from Tim. This was a lot of fun, and that was really cool. And Space Dragons, who could go wrong? So next week we'll probably be doing a few more of your guys' queue. We'll definitely try. I want to do like a movie, but I've been like not wanting to go see movies. So anyway, if you ever have any thoughts, any prompts, any stories that you didn't like and want us to talk about, we would love anything. We do not mind. Reach out to us on any form of social media. Email us. You send an email. That gets kind of like, that's like a big like, yes, this is happening. So
It's official.
It's happening. So, but we thank you guys. We appreciate you guys. And until next time, we will see you later, pitches. Bye.
Bye.